everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. My name's Rhonda and I am a professional soap maker. I thought what I would actually do today is give you a bit of a tour around my small studio, and this is where I take all of my YouTube videos. In the past, I did have a really big warehouse of 200 square meters, and most of you would have seen that warehouse tour. I still get so many comments on it and thousands of people looking at it. But what I wanted to do is just show you around my studio so that people realize you don't have to have a massive warehouse that costs thousands and thousands of dollars a month to be able to be successful. So from here, like I said, I'm going to show you around and I'll explain a few things as I go along. And I have literally jam-packed this small studio right to the top of the roof, full of shelving and all the products that I need in here. So when you're actually having, a business such as mine, you do need space. Of course you do, but you don't need a massive warehouse if you're just selling soaps and so on. So for those of you that don't know, my main job is, making soap and products, of course, and candles. And I sell a lot of it online, but I also do sell a lot when I do markets. I work along the Bay of Mornington in Victoria, Australia, and then I also do go to Yarra Glen and Red Hill and so on. So they're big markets here which attract thousands and thousands of people through their doors. So most people do know me, but a lot of people also, like I said, come and just get things online. But, a lot of people do think, to be a soap maker, if you have that dream of having that kind of company, they think, I need to have this big warehouse. It's not true. You don't. Look, it's amazing when you can have it because you have space, but you don't. You can just do it from a studio, or if you have a few spare rooms, you can. So I think my studio here is roughly about 25 square meters. So it's not a massive space, but it's really enough for what I'm doing at the moment. In the future, I'm definitely going to be going to a shop probably along the bay that will also have a small warehouse at the back, but that's for the future. I did have my warehouse, which was 30 minutes away, but there was a few reasons why I decided to give that up. So I'll tell you a few of them. Number one, my main thing was COVID. During COVID, I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and we were just literally locked out. Our government just said you can't go in. We had really strict rules of, not being able to go in and doing our work or our job. So it just made it impossible. I was paying over $3,000 a month for a space that I literally could not use. So I just decided, look, we're just going to scrap that whole idea because the money was just really big. And like I said, and to have a warehouse that is costing you $3,000 a month, you obviously need to sell a lot of products to be able to combat that kind of cost. So anyway, I decided to have this one. I do actually own this one. The other one I leased. This one is actually on my property. It's not attached to our home or anything. It is quite a distance from it, but still on the property. So it's easy. I can just walk out, so I can come from my house and go to work, and it takes me 2 minutes to get here at the very most. So that is actually, a really positive thing for me for this. But I guess I wanted to do this video to give you a bit of a tour and just to show you, you can easily do this and you can be successful in a smaller space and then move to a bigger space or a shop, when time permits or money permits. And because I own this one, well, of course there is no rent on this at all. So I'm literally saving the $3,000, and then on top of that, that allows me to create more things and to be able to do videos, because videos like this actually do cost money. Usually when I'm making things, that all costs money. But I do sell it, of course. But anyway, like I said, I just thought this will be a really handy video. So let's get going, and I'll show you exactly around my little warehouse, and then we'll talk about all those things. So make sure you send me a question if you do have any questions, because of course I'm here to answer you and help you guys all along the way, and hopefully you can all be successful like me. But if you haven't already checked out my website, make sure you go on there, and it might give you some ideas, or see my gorgeous products as well, which it's nelsonsoapery.com. No AU at all, just like I said, nelsonsoapery.com, or in my description at the top, you should be able to link onto my Instagrams and all of that if you want to join any of my social media and see what I'm up to. But for now, thank you for joining me, and let's go on our tour. Now let's come through the main doors, which we're coming through here. And as I said, this is a small zone, but then in the center, which you'll be able to see, which the shrink wrap machine's on, that's just a really handy kind of machine so that I can pop everything in the little drawers below. On this side here, I do have as many boxes and packaging things, and of course, I think over 1,000 containers for all of my products that go inside them. And on this side here, this is the main wall where I have all of the ingredients and all the things that I actually need to make things, such as you'll be able to see here the micas, all the different colors and things like that. I do have quite a lot of those now. And of course the fragrances, which most of you will know, I get them from a few places such as Aroma, Pure Candle Supplies, Sud Off in Australia. There's quite a few places that I buy my products quite regularly. And then of course all my silicone molds, they are looking crazy messy. I know I do need to neaten all those up. I do have probably well over 100 of those now. And you know, they are really useful because I do need them. And then up the top, you can see I'm going right to the very top with the camera, and I do pretty much use every amount of space that I've got in here. I do also have my fridge, microwave, my bench, lots of things in here as well. So it's not just the shelving units that you can see. And then this is also where I take all of my films in here as well. So I record everything in here. And the middle part here that I was saying at the start, this is where I do all my shrink wrapping, which is really handy because underneath it does have some drawers and some open shelving. And in the open shelving, I keep things like my Cricut machine in there, the tissue paper that I'm going to use to wrap items in, and some flyers and brochures and things like that. As well, which like I said, are really, really handy because we do need to have little spaces for all of those. And I just thought I'll bring you back to show you just different angles of where we are, because it is a small space. It's kind of hard to turn around and keep walking through here to show you everything. The only thing that I would say as well, having a smaller space, you do need to kind of put things away, whereas in my warehouse, I had sections that were cut off, you know, like my mixers were always out and so on, whereas here everything needs to be put away and brought out when I need it to be brought out. And I just try and keep everything as neat as I can because that way everything fits in. And as I said, there's shelving right up to the roof that my husband has also put in, as well as obviously the big heavy duty shelving that I've got as well. And the counter that you can see, the marble looking counter, that's the one that I used to take all the videos. And you know, that one I actually used to put all my products and everything on here. And I do have the same shelving that I did at the warehouse. I definitely have less. I think I have 2 shelves less, but you know, still for a small space, I'm amazed that we could fit it all in. And this one really is an absolute savior for me. So it's floor to ceiling of shelving for all my products. And also because it's an IKEA shelving, it does give me the option of buying extra shelves to kind of slot in if I need to sort of stick more and more things in, which I may have to do in time. But for now, I think the shelving is probably a really good size, and it does fit everything as neat as I can at this stage in here. And when I'm actually making soap, I do leave a lot on these shelves to be cured. Usually I'll just leave a bit of paper underneath them, or greaseproof paper, and that way you can also double this up as like a curing area as well. But towards the back, on the opposite side, I also do have some curing racks that I use, but they're always pretty much full. But you know, when you sort of get to do this kind of job in a permanent thing like myself, what actually happens is it's total like a big circle of making, selling. So that's kind of what you're hoping for. And all my printers and things are just in the corner here. They all attached. I actually don't need wires to my laptop here because basically it just runs through the internet. So that makes it really handy as well. And I do have, my kettle and coffee and things like that in the corner, because as you would have seen on the other side, I do have the fridge and microwave and so on in here. So I pretty much have everything in here. It is air conditioned, and it is also, I do have a little heater on the floor in here as well. And my little baby dogs are allowed to come in when they're good, but only when I'm filming, not when I'm making anything. So like I said, we'll give you a bit more of a further look around, and I hope that you have enjoyed this. And I'll come back at the end of this video and we will actually go through and do a few talks on a few things as well. So I thought I would put this little bit at the end of our tour and just do a few questions. So I often get asked the questions of, how do I set up? What do I need? Is there a budget way that I can do this? Or do I need all of these big things? And yes, there is a budget way that you can do it. I mean, over time, I've actually bought these. I don't have a loan or anything. As I've sold things, I've saved more money and then I bought them. So definitely. So if we're thinking about what you actually need to start this, honestly, you just need a stick blender to make your soap, and you can buy even a cheap $10 one from your department store. Nothing exciting. So you can definitely start with that. Obviously, you'll need things like some bowls and some raw ingredients. So if you think of, the main sort of utensils, I guess, that you'll need, it'll be things like spatulas, bowls, a stick blender, just things like that really, and spoons and things like that, just to get you started. And then of course some raw materials, but you can even start making soap and do like a Castile soap, which is literally just olive oil. If you want to do an easy one to make it a little bit harder, you could even do olive oil with some coconut and some coconut oil, and some shea butter. So then you got your 3 ingredients, like I said, olive, shea and coconut. So that is a really good soap, just using those 3 just to start with until you get along. And just buy 1 or 2 mica colors. If you go to companies like Sud Off that I use, you can get a mica color for as cheap as $7 odd for just a small pouch, and try that one out. So that's what I really do suggest starting off soaping, and then you can slowly add all these things. So obviously I didn't start with hundreds of products. Like behind me, honestly, I have over 100 products on my website. You definitely don't need to start with that, and a lot of soapers don't even sell that many, but it's just where I wanted to go with my company. I just wanted to have many options, but you definitely don't need to do that. Also, if you're going to start a candle business or, have candles in the mix, all you need is, like you would have seen that I have, which is only a tiny little pot. And that is actually a slow cooker, which that's how I warm everything up. That one was like $25, so pretty cheap. But you can do it on the stove as well at the start inside your home. So yeah, you don't really need anything fancy at the start, and I would just start with that and then slowly build up your molds and things like that. You can go to your local cake shop to pick up some silicone molds. You don't need to order anything online. You can order from Amazon, but then you have all the big shipping. So with me, I actually did start at the cake shop, buying things from the cake shop, because it was definitely easier for me just to grab a couple, 1 a week or 2 a week, whatever I wanted to get, and then from there. So you don't need to have an extra microwave and all those things at the start. You can even just wrap your things up in like a cello kind of paper, or wrap, I don't know what you call it, but sort of a cellophane sort of wrap. You don't need to have the shrink wrap machine at the start that I have, and I definitely did not have that at the start. I had the shrink wrap bags, and I just had a hairdryer. So over time, obviously you do spend tens of thousands of dollars like I've done here, but that's only so that I'm totally equipped, and like I said, I am a business, so that's why I do need to have all of those things. So yeah, so if your question is how do I start and I don't have heaps of money, that's definitely how you can start. Just start with either making soap or bath bombs, and then slowly extend your range to however you want your range to be extended. A lot of times also I get asked, what about labeling? How do I label something? Honestly, just go and print it on your local printer at home. Don't go and buy everything online. You can easily make it, make it in Windows even, and print it out and just cut it at the start, because you don't need anything fancy. or you can even do it on paper and wrap it around the soap. So like I said, at the start, you definitely don't need more than that, as long as you have got things such as, you need your business name on it, where it's manufactured, the weights of the product, the ingredients of the products, and so on. And then you do need to keep your batch numbers. So, but if you're really serious about making soap as a living, I would definitely say you need to register. You cannot sell anything in Australia without registering with the health department. So log on to that, or even go onto your ATO, and they will actually, they'll tell you where to go from there, or ASIC. There's quite a few different places you can do, or start even just do a business plan. It's totally free if you go to the ATO in Australia, and which is our Australian tax office for anyone watching in another country. And then all you need to go from that is you can do your own business plan in it, and just print it off yourself. So you don't need to register or anything like that. It's really simple, and it's on there. So just Google business plan. If you're in another country, I'm sure there is many business plans online for free that you can just download the template. And, it will be things like, who are you targeting your products to? What do you want your products to look like? You kind of need to get an idea of where you want your business to go. Like I see some people that they might have a candle business that is all just totally cream candles, and they're very natural, very minimalistic. And that does sell too for that market. But for my market, I wanted something more colourful and something that was a bit more unique to me. So, and just try and concentrate on your branding from the start. Branding is a really hard thing to get right. And I've changed mine heaps of times just to try and get it right. So, but it's a learning game. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just slowly do it and just have fun. If you once you get a few products, log into your local market. They are a really good thing to do. You get to meet lots of people, and people can see and try your product. And make sure you give away samples, because that does bring people back to you. I've had many people that have come back to me from getting a sample, and they've said, I've really loved this soap. Can I actually buy it now? So, they're things that are really important to do. So, just do those. But as I've said in one of my other videos, please don't give up your job to start a business, because it takes a long time. In Australia, they say about 3 years before you will start to see a result. That doesn't mean you're earning a full wage. That just means before you start to see a result, because in Australia, we're very small. Our country is really small, so we don't have the amount of people buying our products that other countries may have. So anyway, that's just a little bit of a few tips that I thought I would just chuck in the mix with my studio tour. But in ending, I just want to say I hope you have enjoyed my little studio tour, and I hope you love my studio like me. I really do love coming in here and doing videos. It's nice and cozy and warm because we're in winter too. But like I said, I hope you really have liked the tour, and it's given you some inspiration of how you can do it. If you aren't ready to go into a big warehouse, you might have a room in your house that you can do, or a basement or a shed that you can start to store some stuff in and have fun and make your own little creative sort of craft room / little business, and start going that way. But anyway, thank you so much for watching me once again, and I will exit off here, and I'm sure that I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.